Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing something new. I've got an SD card here. I have a Ethernet PoE to micro USB and Ethernet port, I guess, for a Raspberry Pi. I've got a Raspberry Pi 3 here, and we're going to be deploying this out in one of my solar boxes. I don't know which box I'm going to choose yet, but I'm going to be putting it out in one of them. And the purpose of this Pi is going to be for small configuration files that I want on an offsite backup. And yes, I totally realize I could do this through Azure or something, but I have a Pi, I have everything else I need. I'm just gonna go put it outside in one of the boxes. All right, so I have my SD card right here. We're going to plug this into the Mac, and we're going to fire up Raspberry Pi Imager. So I don't have Raspberry Pi Imager on this computer. We'll download this real quick. All right, so here inside of Pi Imager, we're going to go down to Pi 3, not Pi 2. Click on our OS and go to Other General Purpose OS, Ubuntu, as well as Ubuntu 22.04 LTS. And I'm going to do 32-bit just for now because I feel like it's going to run a little bit better. We'll set the host name as solar-pi, set the username and password to Beam Networks, and a password. No wireless LAN because I don't normally have Wi-Fi out there. Make sure to turn on SSH. I don't like how they move this to another menu. It kind of bothers me. We'll turn on SSH and click Save. And we want to apply the settings, yes, and erase the disk. It's going to ask for a password, and there we go. It's now going to flash the software onto the Raspberry Pi as it downloads it live, so it kind of just saves time there. As soon as it's done, we'll get the Pi fired up. We'll take it out of the box, see how this goes. Here is the Pi in its full glory. I'm feeling a little risky today, so the card that is in it, I haven't even booted up the Pi yet. I'm just going to hope and assume that it works fine, and I'll SSH into the Pi as soon as I get it out there. So I'm just going to go plug this in and see how it goes. All right, so we've made it out here to the box that I'm going to be installing this stuff in. There is quite a bit of leaves and stuff surrounding the box. I have not been out here for probably a few months. It's just been running very solidly, no issues at all. So I'm going to open up the box for the first time and we'll take it out. Okay, so like I said, this is the first box opening in a few months. I'm going to hope there is no bugs inside of this, and by the looks of things, that's really good to see. I don't see any bugs in here, don't see any ants, anything at all. There's some stuff under the seal here, but it looks like the seal on the box is actually entirely doing its job, which is fantastic, so I'm very happy to see that. I'm going to be installing the Pi here, probably going to set it on top of the battery or somewhere down in that corner. We'll see what I do, but I have a long enough Ethernet cable that I can put it pretty much anywhere in the box. I'm going to get this thing plugged in, we'll get it booted up, let's take a look at it. The Pi is now plugged in. You can see the status light on the switch lighting up, meaning that there is network connectivity, that green light, and the orange light, meaning that there's power. So I'm port 5 of that switch going right over there to the Pi. So I'm gonna get this thing booted up, and then I'll connect to it on the computer. I'm gonna actually close up this box because I don't want any bugs to get in it while it's open. But we'll take a look on the computer, check it out. All right, so we're out here recording, just trying something a little different. So if I log into Unify here, you'll see my screen's very dark, which is why I'm squinting. So the Pi has an IP address here of 10.140.3.11. I'm going to have to blur out this screen here. I'm going to VPN into my network here, and we're in. So this is the Solar Pi. So let's run IPA. You'll see that we have the IP address showing up here on a /28 subnet. It's a pretty small one. It's probably, 13 IP addresses or something like that. Pretty small, but that's just for my servers and stuff. And a lot of my servers aren't even on the network because they're on a Proxmox network, so I don't even know why I have the server VLAN, but I do. So if you're on HTOP here, you'll see that we're using no resources, which is good because we shouldn't be. I just set the thing up. Now let's run some updates. I'm going to run my update script right here, and we'll get these updates running. I'm also going to go back to the Terminus here, add this as a host 10.140.3.11. This is going to be the Solar Pi with the credentials as I am typing in here. Terminus makes it really easy. I really wish they'd sponsor me. I love Terminus. And now if I log in, I can run sudo by sudo and type this in, go to the very bottom. If you've followed the channel for a while, you know that this is like basic steps that I go through all the time, and it's because I do. So that's basically what you gotta do to ensure that you don't get prompted for a password every single sudo command that you run on Ubuntu. You gotta run sudo space by sudo. You'll do %, your username, all equals all, this stuff you see on the screen here. Control X, Y, enter. You'll never be prompted for your password again once you're logged in. It's fantastic. Looks like we got about 8 minutes left on this upgrade here. I'm not gonna make you wait for that long. But basically that's all I wanted to do. So now that we're updating this, I just have to set up this Pi with my GitLab repository, which is super easy, and I can't show that anyway. Additionally, I have to set this up to receive backups from my automated backup thing. It's a script that runs from GitLab essentially on all of my hosts and virtual machines that essentially just does basic configuration backups. So every day, every single one of my servers, VMs, hosts, all that stuff, all of the Nginx files, WireGuard files, NetPlan files, anything that like is host specific gets backed up to a repository that I have. That way, if I need to go back and just grab those files specifically, not data, I can do that through the script that runs. It's called my automated backup script. So as soon as this Pi updates, I'll be able to essentially add this as a destination to my script instead of running it to my server. I don't know if I have enough storage on this SD card for this. What I might end up doing is adding an external hard drive to this Pi. That way I can have more space, and it's all solar power, so it really doesn't matter like how much power I'm using, because like I said, solar power, it's essentially infinite to me at this point. I have enough solar panels to do 300 watts of power, which is fantastic. I'm very fortunate to have that. So yeah, it's pretty easy for me to just pop a hard drive out here. Temperature is pretty controlled. It gets toasty out here in the summers and pretty chilly in the winters, but honestly, for what I'm doing, a hard drive should survive out here. I could also go the route of an SSD, which would work too, but I don't know if I have any USB SSDs laying around at this point, so a hard drive is probably easier. So if you like this kind of short video outside, make sure to subscribe and like for more. But that's about all for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you around in the next video.